world, Shelly here, and today I would like to talk to you about eyeshadow palettes, specifically the magnetic kind of eyeshadow palettes that you put loose single eyeshadows into, the kind that some people like to depot their regular palettes and put all of the shadows into. Even more specifically, magnetic eyeshadow palettes made by the company Adept Cosmetics. I stumbled upon this company quite a few months ago, and one of the first things I do when checking into indie brands is I read their About Us page, because I just like to know the people behind the products that are being made, especially when those products are really, really intriguing to me. And I have to share, I'm going to read some of their About page because these people, I was like, these are my people. Like, these are my people. So, Adept Cosmetics is made up of a bunch of introverted, socially awkward nerds who love movies, TV, and specifically the TV show The Flash on the CW. Long story, their company was inspired by the show. They say, don't ask, but you tell me not to ask. And all I want to know is how the heck did that show inspire this company? They're so introverted and awkward that there's no way our pictures going up on this website will likely never be seen at IMATS or the makeup show, etc. Now, Comic-Con, that's a different story. That's their intro paragraph. On and on and on. So they were founded in 2016. They opened up shop in February 2017. So they're about a year and a half old at this point. They have a lot of nerd terminology, The Flash, there's some Star Wars references in here. You guys know, I'm a geek, I'm a nerd, I was going to say not cool, but I'm really cool because nerds are cool now. It wasn't so true when I was younger, but they've got a mission of making cute products that deliver on promises without breaking your bank account. And the other part of their sort of company philosophy that I am attracted to is that they are also big on contributing back to the community. They have done donations to the National Center for Missing or Exploited Children. They have more recently done a sizable donation to the Goodwill of Southern California. So I like when the mission of sharing the wealth, you know, your mission of being successful is balanced a bit by the idea that you're working for a greater good, you're working toward a greater cause, and I'm big on that. I run fundraisers to raise money for animal rescue organizations, and so all this is right up my alley. Nerds that are into makeup, that want to make the world a better place, like, hello, you're my people. So somehow, I don't even know how, I think I posted a comment on one of the Adept Cosmetics Instagram posts once upon a time, and then they posted a comment on my Instagram, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe you follow me, and then they were like, oh my god, I can't believe you follow us, and oh my god, we're nerds, okay? And long story short, they sent me 3 palettes to check out. This is not sponsored. They sent me these free of charge, but I'm not required to make this video. I am not required to share my thoughts with you, and I'm going to share my thoughts with you because not only do I think these people are cool because they're nerds, but I'm in love with these palettes. And they also have some cosmetics that they sell, and I just placed an order, paid for it myself, for some of their cosmetics and another one of their palettes because reasons. They're good. I want to try their cosmetics because I love their palettes. So I want to talk to you today about these palettes that they sent me. I've tried them out. I'm going to compare them to some other palettes that I have used in the past, tell you why I prefer these. I will link them all down below if you would like to check them out. Again, this is not sponsored, but I want to share the love because that is what I do here. I tell you what I think of things and share what I think and what I love and what I don't love, and I love these. I'm going to start with the palette that I've decided I like the most. It's going to suit my needs the best for a majority of the time, and that is the one that they call the Adept Palette. It is the most expensive of the 3. It retails for $32, so it's really not crazy expensive, and let me show you what this thing does. So when it's totally full, it's got some heft to it. It is plastic, solid, sturdy. I like this because not only does it hold my entire loose shadow collection, but it's sturdy enough to travel with. So let me show you the inside. It's not quite completely full. I've got primarily Makeup Geek and Coastal Scents shadows in here. So if I were to fill it with only those shadows, there would be 96 of them in here. It's not quite all the way full at this point. I'm sorry for the reflection of my ring light, but you get the idea here. I've also got some sauce box shadows up there. So this holds a lot of product, and it's got a plastic divider in between, so your shadows are always protected when this thing is closed. They're not going to be touching each other when it sandwiches together. And this, it fit my entire collection of loose shadows. Number one, bonus. Number two, I like that it's got the divider in the center to protect the shadows from each other when it is closed. Number three, there's no wasted space here. So like, you don't have any extra wasted space that makes this any bigger than it has to be. It opens up flat, completely flat, can lay flat on a table, and I just think this is wonderful. Now let me show you what I have previously used for my shadows. Now you're probably familiar with the old Z palettes. The typically clear front cover, you open it up, it's magnetic on the inside. I love Z palettes, or I did until I got these palettes. I still love Z palettes. I'm not going to use them quite as much. There are two reasons. Number one, the interior construction of the Adept palettes, the laminate it just feels a lot more sturdy. So I feel like over time, if I'm dripping things on my palette, you know, if you saw what this vanity looks like in front of me, it's a disastrous mess. I'm always dripping things like foundation and whatnot all over the place. And this Z palette is not quite as sturdy of sort of inside material as the Adept palette. But the more important thing to me is that the magnet at the base is much stronger in the Adept palette. I'm not saying that the Z palette's not strong, but it's really pretty doggone weak. They don't stay super strongly. So if you bump this, and I have done this where I bump it or I drop it or I knock it into my drawer when I'm opening and closing things and shadows fall out. The magnet in the Z palette, the Adept palette, it's got pull to it. I don't know how well. Do you see how it's even harder for me to pull it off? And you get that clunk when the magnet attracts it. It's just a much stronger magnet. That to me feels a lot more secure. It feels like the product is not going to fall out if I bump it. In fact, I have bumped it. I haven't dropped the whole thing yet. Knock on wood. Why did I say that out loud? But I've bumped it, had no trouble with anything falling out. That super strong magnet that's a total selling point for me. The sturdiness for travel is another huge point. Now, one downside I would say of the Adept palettes is you can't see your shadows through the front. You know, it's a solid, you know, you can't see through it. But I am going to say one thing, that doesn't bother me as much as I thought it would. Number one, because my entire collection fits into this palette right here, just this one palette. So at least in my current state of makeup collection, I don't need to know what's inside because they're all inside. This can hold up to 100 standard size round eyeshadow pans if you were like depotting your existing palettes, or like I said, if you've got the either Coastal Scents or Makeup Geek, it holds 96 shadows in there. So this is potentially all I would ever need in terms of being able to house my entire loose shadow collection in one place. Now, if you need to be able to see through the front, you know, that's one downside. But honestly, I don't think it is a problem, especially with the capacity of these Adept palettes. Let me show you the other kind of palette that I was using. Actually, I had all of the shadows that are currently in this palette were previously in these Coastal Scents palettes. And I have a few complaints and one thing that I really like. The one thing I really like is when this is full of shadows, it is aesthetically pleasing. It looks really nice to have them each in their own individual space, and it's like a nice grid. I'm a sucker for aesthetics. I like things to look pleasing to the eye, and I'm also a little bit obsessive compulsive, so the nice equal spacing and the organization looks very nice to me. Here's the downside. I've had several shadows broken when I traveled with this. It is plastic, but it's a really weak plastic, and what had happened was just the weight of all the suitcases on the airplane had pressed the lid so that, and it's such a weak little thin little plastic lid that it pressed into my shadows and shattered a whole bunch of them. It's not super sturdy. So, you know, the aesthetic part of it is really not important enough to me to go with this. It's lighter weight, and even when it's full, it's not as heavy, but this does not hold nearly as many shadows. These two used to be what is now completely in here, and I was able to add several more in here that weren't in these, and this is not completely full yet. So these are fine, but they're not very sturdy for travel, and even though you can see through the top and it's very aesthetically pleasing, that is really not the most important thing if I'm breaking my shadows all the time. Breaking shadows is bad. So the one I've chosen to keep all of my shadows in, this is the Adept Palette, retails for $32. Let me show you these other two because I did try them out and use them, and this just gives me an excuse to go buy more single eyeshadows. Or to depot some of my palettes, I don't know. See, I love palettes too, like the you can't see them, they're off camera, but the ones that are up here, palettes, you know, eyeshadow palettes. I don't think I can bring myself to depot them because I love the packaging. I would say my second favorite, and this one will be good for travel as well, is they call it the Magnetar Multi-Folding Tabletop Palette. This is a velvet plush finish, and when I first pulled it out of the box, I thought, ugh, not another Modern Renaissance type thing. It feels like that. But my Modern Renaissance palettes, the eyeshadow palettes, whenever you get anything on them, fingerprints, foundation, shadow, anything grubby, they don't wash off very well. Well, let me tell you a story here. This is plush velvet. This is not velveteen. Velveteen is what most of those eyeshadow palettes are made of, and it's very hard to clean. Plush velvet, very easy to clean. Just take a makeup wipe, wipe it off. You can clean it. You can totally clean it. And I tested it. This is terrible, but I intentionally rubbed some eyeshadow onto the palette and I cleaned it off, and it totally cleaned off. Now, it is a good thing that these are cleanable because the way it's designed, so you open up the palette, and it is a double-sided palette, and the divider that protects it is a mirror. Oh, don't look at my desk. It's such a mess, you guys. How do I show this without showing you the disaster? So it's a double-sided magnetic, and this is the thing that protects the shadows on this side from touching the shadows on this side. But this is also that plush velvet. So when you close it, any dust from the eyeshadows on this side gets on this side. And that's, you know, you're just going to have to clean it every so often. Thankfully, you can, and it's very easy to do. But the nice thing about this is when you open it up, okay, fine, you're just going to have to see my desk. If you lay this out on a table and then you prop up your mirror here, you can do your makeup. Oh, look, it's me. Ta-da! I'm a nerd, you guys. I told you. So you can prop up this on a table if you're traveling. You've got your palette of eyeshadows available right in front of you. Beautiful, wonderful, good for travel. Easy to clean. Love it. This one, did I say how much it retails for? $18.99. So 19 bucks gets you the Magnetar Multi-Folding Tabletop Palette. And then the one that somebody should tell Fatela about, because marble, it's beautiful. This is one that I would say would be best suited to stay at home, and I'm going to show you why. It retails for $24.99, so 25 bucks. It is, again, a double-sided palette. Now, when you open it up, right now, both sides are completely covered, and then you pop the other sides up. You do have a mirror on the one side. It's not quite as handy because for you to prop this mirror up, you'd have to have this sitting long ways on the table. So it's not quite as handy as the Magnetar, and that's why I like the Magnetar a little bit better. But you do get the double-sided palette, and you also get, in all of these, you get the little magnetic sticker backs if you happen to have shadows that did not come magnetized or they're not in the proper metal tins that will work with a magnet. But this is a gorgeous, solid kind of palette, and it is really just really stunning. Let me tell you guys how many shadows fit in here. This one holds 70. I believe the Magnetar Tabletop Palette also holds 70. Let me double check so I'm not lying to you. Yep, 70 standard size. I think the Makeup Geek and the Coastal Scents must be a little bit bigger than standard size because the Adept palette holds 100 normally and it only holds 96 of my Makeup Geek or Coastal Scents. So they describe them as slightly larger, or ColourPop shadows I think are the same size as these. So 96 ColourPop shadows in here. I'm guessing that 70 is the count for the standard size, not the ColourPop Makeup Geek Coastal Scents size. So maybe slightly fewer than 70 if you are using the slightly larger round pans. But these are just, I'm so happy with these palettes. I cannot wait to try some of their makeup because I like supporting independent businesses, small businesses, you know, shop local, shop small. It's just, I totally get and respect the passion and commitment and courage that it takes to go out in the world and start a small business and try to hack it in the world of competition of giant corporate mega monster companies. I just thumbs up and you go girls, and it's just right up my alley to support this kind of company, and they sound like the coolest people. I would love to hang out and I bet we'd be BFFs. It's just that kind of thing. I like nerds. I'm a nerd myself. Nerds that like makeup. So I will link all of these palettes down below. They're at adeptcosmetics.com. Follow them on Instagram. That is where I have enjoyed going back and forth with them. And I will put links below. These links that I'm putting today are not currently affiliate links, but I have requested to join their affiliate program because I would like to continue to share their products with you and to promote their products and to share my joy of their products. So if I do get accepted to their affiliate program, which would mean if you use my code, I would get a percentage of that sale. I will note that down below if I do become an affiliate. Well, and you'll see a code, and then you'll know that I became an affiliate. I hope I do become an affiliate because I love this product and I'm very excited to see what else they put out in the future. They're a very young company, and I also just love finding companies at the ground level, supporting them when I enjoy their approach, I enjoy their products, I enjoy their mission and their methodology and their business practices. So I'm super excited to share this with you guys. If you guys are into, you know, getting into the indie scene with the ground floor, there's no place to go but up, and I have really high hopes for Adept Cosmetics. I thoroughly enjoy these palettes. I think they have listened to a lot of makeup enthusiasts as in terms of what would make a palette great, what is bothersome about the existing palettes out there, what can they do to improve on that design. I think it's just brilliant. I've nothing bad to say. Brilliant company, brilliant approach, nerds rule. Women take over the world. Let's do it, girls. And boys, you know, but they already rule the world, so it's our turn. There you have it, my take on a new indie company that is making palettes and cosmetics. Go support Adept Cosmetics. Give them your love on socials. If you enjoy these kinds of product try-out videos, give me a thumbs up down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And as always, thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day to geek out over makeup with me. I appreciate it, and I hope you guys all have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.